this isn't just about productivity tips. It's really about beginning to explore reorienting our whole way of being. In the garden paradigm, success looks like sustainability, good stewardship, and faithfulness, where rest and reflection are recognized for the fruitful results that they really are and not wasteful. Jesus said in John 15:4, "Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit by itself, neither can you, unless you abide in me." Overwhelm, reaction mode, and just keeping up are the old way.
You need real, root-level strategies and practical steps to grow your business or ministry without exhaustion and burnout.
Hi there, we're Anna Saucier
And Megan Gephardt,
best friends and business consultants who help faith-filled women create sustainable growth through simple strategy with a people-first approach.
Here at Apostolic Fruit, we hope to offer you clarity, support, accompaniment, and healing,
one tiny step at a time. Hey there, my friend, and welcome back to the Apostolic Fruit podcast. I'm Anna Saucier, and in this episode, I want to talk about something that might just feel like a big sigh of relief for your soul. Have you ever had that nagging sense that the way that you've been leading, working, or even just being feels off? You're not alone. And I want to say right up front, you're probably right in how you're feeling. What if the problem isn't you, but the paradigm that you've been taught to operate in? Today, I want to share with you two very different ways of living and leading. We refer to them as the industrial paradigm and the garden paradigm. Let's start with the industrial paradigm. This is the water most of us are swimming in. It prizes output, urgency, and constant hustle. It tells us that if we just do more, work harder, add more tactics, we'll finally, or at least someday, get the results that we want. Just keep going. Just do it. You've got this. Right? These messages come from all different directions. But what is the cost? We're seeing the cost of this as burnout, disconnection, and treating ourselves and others like machines instead of people. There's a very real dehumanization in this paradigm. On the other hand, the garden paradigm is radically different. It's rooted in rhythms, rest, and relationship with ourself, with our body, with God, and with other people. In the garden paradigm, we recognize that growth is seasonal. We have times of faster growth, and we have times of rest. We have fallow time. The growth is not linear. When we're operating in the industrial paradigm, we often get this message that we should expect the line to keep climbing and how the outputs to keep increasing. That belongs to the industrial paradigm, but it doesn't happen in the garden paradigm. In the garden, we recognize that your worth isn't based on production, but on your dignity. And the fruit comes not from forcing, but from abiding deep in yourself where we find God. And as I describe those to you in this very brief way, I want to invite you to notice how your body feels with that. Does it feel heavy and forceful when you think of the hustle and urgency of the industrial paradigm? Do you feel any kind of relief when you picture the growth happening in God's timing, like a garden? There's usually still a very real tension here because we live in a world that expects us to produce, and it speaks in metrics. However, we can begin to make this shift because what really matters is the way that we show up in the world of production, because we still have to create things, right? We're still putting service out there. We still want our mission to grow, to reach more people and create a greater impact. But the way that we do that, from inside our bodies, from in our relationships and our teams and organizations, the way is what matters. So my invitation to you is to begin to explore moving from striving to abiding. And this isn't just about productivity tips. It's really about beginning to explore reorienting our whole way of being. In the garden paradigm, success looks like sustainability, good stewardship, and faithfulness, where rest and reflection are recognized for the fruitful results that they really are and not wasteful. Jesus said in John 15:4, "Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit by itself, neither can you, unless you abide in me." So another question for reflection is, in what ways have you been operating in the industrial paradigm? And what has that cost you physically, mentally, spiritually, in relationship with others? And please know that there's no shame here. This is a paradigm that has been passed on to us for over a century now. Our modern Western culture has been focused on production. We're recognizing the cost for this, and this is your invitation to begin breaking those patterns and shifting this way of being. This is hard. One of the most difficult truths in this is recognizing the gap between what we say we believe and how we actually live, and feeling the disconnect in that. We can say, oh yeah, I want to operate from rest and from resting in the Lord. But then over here, and we get into the zone of production. And so there's this internal tension and incongruence. And especially if you're coaching, mentoring, or leading in areas of healing and wholeness, but you're not experiencing that for yourself internally. Again, we have this place of incongruence, of not embodying what we say that we believe. Now, please, again, don't hear me wrong. You don't need to be perfectly healed, always calm, or 2 steps ahead of everyone you serve in order to begin to do this differently, or show this different way of pursuing healing and wholeness, not as something to grasp at, but something to abide in. I talk about embodying a lot, living these things within our own body. The whole of the human person is body. And embodying means being present. It means that we're healing, we're not healed. It means that we're practicing wholeness and not pretending that we've arrived anywhere. And sometimes practicing this garden paradigm and being present to embodiment in a more congruent way, sometimes it looks like being honest that I am in the middle of a train wreck. But I'm letting God meet me here, and I'm being real about it. Because this really, the whole point of all of this is that God can only meet us in the present moment. Not where we wish we were, but right where we are. And the really important effect of this is that if you have this calling on your heart to bring some impact or mission to the world, that was given to you by God. And so it's in there within the realness of the human person that you are. And so that's where we want to be. And the more whole, the more integrated, the more congruent you feel within yourself, then the clearer that mission is going to come out. It's also important to recognize and set the intention that we're not trying to force ourselves into the garden paradigm using tools of the industrial paradigm. Because you may have experienced this too in coaching or other personal development invitations where the method is, okay, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to habit change now. I'm going to rewire my mind. I'm going to push this through. And all of those tactics and ways of doing it belong to the industrial paradigm. And I'm going to force myself to learn this and make the change. But again, if we wanted to truly practice this different way of being, then we do it from the very beginning, from the very start of exploration. Shifting into the garden paradigm isn't a one and done fix. It's not something I decide to do today and then I'm in it tomorrow. And we can't do it by applying those old industrial methods of forcing, fixing, or grinding harder. Instead, I want to share with you a model that we base a lot of our learning on as we're working with clients in our program, The Garden, or we're working with leaders or teams or organizations in a strategic partnership. We base everything that we do on the principles from the agile learning model. And I want to share those principles with you. The first is trust is the soil we grow in. Everything else comes out of a soil, a relationship, a basis of trust. The second concept is learning is natural and messy. And this may be different from what you maybe have learned in school. A lot of what we got from a traditional school environment, that was my experience, is that someone teaches you or tells you how to do something and you do it. And if you do it right, then you're good. You get the A. But that doesn't incorporate the natural and messy process of learning, of experimentation. The next concept in this agile learning model is that we grow best when we make our own decisions. That true growth doesn't happen when somebody tells us exactly what to do and we do it. We get to be offered ideas and options and invitations, and we decide for ourselves. The next principle is that culture matters and that community shapes us. We need to be growing and shifting within a culture and a community where other people are embracing these same concepts. We're practicing embracing the garden paradigm, and we're doing it in this agile learning way. And the last principle in this model is that growth comes in cycles of intention, action, reflection, and sharing. And all of these pieces matter. As we're growing, we're going through this process. I'm going to set an intention, and then I'm going to do something about it. And then I'm going to think about what I did and reflect. Okay, what went well? What didn't go well? How did it feel in my body? What did I like? What did I not like? How did it affect people around me? Is this what I'm looking for? And then we share. We speak that out in community of people that we trust and say, here's what I did and here's what I thought about it. And they get to affirm that you tried something. You're a great human being for doing that, for experimenting. And we take that reflection, that feedback, and then we go and we set a new intention. This is true growth. And in this way of learning creates space for curiosity, presence, and actual transformation, not just performance and outputs. And so the thread that runs through all of this is presence. We begin with internally just noticing my experience, your experience. What are you noticing in your body? Right now, whatever's going on around you, what do you notice? A twitching in the knee? Maybe tightness in your neck or shoulders? The fly that keeps landing on your arm? So noticing what's happening in your body and sensations, noticing your human needs. What do I need right now? Do I need to close my eyes? Do I need to get a snack? Do I need to just walk more slowly, give myself some space? Noticing your emotions. What am I feeling? How did I react to that particular situation? Maybe something that happened a bit earlier. Noticing all of our lived experience. We can do this in different ways. It can be helpful to name what you're feeling in the moment, to grab a list of feelings and emotions and try to put a word to it. Another really simple way that we can just ground ourselves in our lived experience is to look up. Literally lifting your gaze to the sky, to the heavens. I'm just going to look up and remember there's much more to my lived experience than what I can see right in front of me. Another suggestion is to just take 10 minutes to lie still and just be. Lie on your back, close your eyes, pause. These aren't fixes, but they are invitations to abide more deeply in your daily life. So I want to invite you to the choice in all of this. You can keep operating completely in the industrial paradigm by the world's metrics of success, and this often works. We see it work all the time. But if you're here listening today, I have a feeling that you're longing for something deeper, truer, and more sustainable. You know that you're kind of worn out from that way of being. And so the garden paradigm invites you into a way of being where your worth isn't measured by output, but by presence, by your capacity to receive the Lord's love and to recognize all of the beauty and the human beings and the gifts that are around you. A place where we recognize that growth is seasonal. There are ups and downs. It's rooted in the Lord's timing that we cannot possibly understand. And that's frustrating. But it is a place where rest and reflection are important because it is truly a place of receptivity. He has only good things for us, and the soil is built for lasting fruit. Thank you for choosing to listen, to journey with me here today. May you be filled with peace as you step more fully into the garden.
We hope you loved today's episode. If so, would you take a moment to share it with a friend?
If you haven't already, come connect with us human to human at apostolicfruit.com/connect. When you're ready, we'd love to support you more deeply.
May the Lord bless you and keep you, make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you,
and turn his face toward you and give you peace.